call the September meeting of the Huntington Township Planning Commission to order. First item is the approval of the minutes of the August 22nd meeting. August 22nd. 26th, yeah, correction on that.
What, something wrong?
Well, it was,
The meeting was the 26th, not the 22nd.
yeah,
Well, it says 26 on the
It
agenda.
says it on here. I make a motion we approve minutes as distributed and as read.
I'll second.
okay, motion's made by Jeff, second by Tom to approve the minutes of the August meeting as presented for record. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Next item, Gus's zoning officer
Yeah.
report.
Okay. Let me get that up here. Okay. All right, there were a bunch of waivers issued. The first waiver was to John Davis at 662 Idaville, York Springs Road, to replace 4 windows in his house. Next one was next waiver was to Tony Rodolfi at 135 Tammy Drive to build a 12 by, oops. No, that's a building permit, I'm sorry. A waiver to Bonnie Bray Farms, Fruit Farms over on the Idaville York Springs Road to repair a front porch 6 by 10 feet. And I have a waiver to A. Rodriguez at 327 Long Lane, who replaced 3 windows in his home, with a couple more coming. Mr. Rodriguez at 327 Long Lane replaced 3, oh, that is the same guy. All right, Neil Henkel at 6487 Old Harrisburg Road, replace an entry door and a patio door. And I issued an occupancy permit to Michael Max at 6684 Old Harrisburg Road. He installed an in-ground pool and a patio with a fence around it. And then we have Jason Hilbert at 50 Wendy Drive. He is installing a roof over an existing deck, and he got a waiver to replace the roof on the house. But back here, we also issued a permit to Ross Huffman for a 30 by 32 foot spray shed for his fruit farm at that's 1022 Upper Meridian Road. I issued a well permit to Seth Huffman for 6145 Oxford Road. I issued a building permit to Garmin Homes for 150 Tammy Drive for a 2-story single-family dwelling, and I issued a permit to Garmin Homes for 130 Tammy Drive for a two-story, single-family dwelling. And that covers it.
Gus, can you go back to the one, you're moving around so quick I couldn't keep up. The one that has the roof over the deck, was that a permit or a waiver?
That's a permit. That has to be inspected.
Good, okay. Because those are the ones that scare me.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure they're using the same footings upon which they used to install the deck.
well, if they don't use the same footings and have the same size beam, for instance, if it was built 20 years ago, they used 4x4s. It's over 30 inches, now you have to use 6x6s. Once they tell me what they're using, we'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it?
Oh,
We got the engineer's report next.
the engineer's report's next.
Scott? Engineer's report?
He's right.
He's waiting to bring it up.
Yeah, well, wait a
I
minute.
thought you'd have it memorized.
I do.
In a few words.
Apparently, I talk too quietly.
What's that?
Exactly. My whole life, people have been asking me to repeat myself. So.
There you go.
Okay, the Greenbrier Culvert project, we've had bidding. It was tentatively awarded to Hobbs Excavating. I'm still waiting from one piece of information from Mr. Hobbs. I asked him for it last week. I still haven't got it yet before I can.
It's at the 72-inch culvert.
That's what we're replacing.
Oh, what are you putting in place of that?
12 foot by 6.5 foot.
Oh, arch.
Yeah, corrugated, aluminum corrugated metal arch.
With concrete footers and.
Yes.
Remember, that's what we needed to get the,
Yeah.
PennDOT.
Yeah.
Had to be different, which is fine.
Myerstown Road, and now that Greenbrier's underway, I'm gonna start the design on Myerstown. Chuck gave me a new project, Rolling Road Culvert. He gave that to me a month ago, but I haven't had a chance to start that yet. Update on the Saldo, that's ongoing with Andrew at the county planning. And plans currently under review is the JVI land development plan. Board action is required by 11/6, 90 days after their initial
11/6.
meeting after their submission.
Just so we're clear on that, we'd have to, October meeting, they'd have to present a time extension to us.
Right.
Is that the expectation?
Well, I told them it's required a minimum of 2 days before the Board of Supervisors meeting. They're the ones that'll act on the,
Right, they'll act on it. That has to be kept.
Well, they've submitted the land development plan. Scott's reviewed it, made a list of 4 pages of comments.
Right.
Dan, their engineer, is reviewing those, but is nowhere near done. They also need an NPDS permit and a HOP, Highway Occupancy Permit from PennDOT, and they don't look like they're going to be ready by the time we're done with this plan. So
Well,
Scott, can they get an NPDS permit without an approved plan?
yeah, from their conservation district and DEP plan and permit is totally separate from the township approval.
But they submit the plan to them that you have, correct?
No, not exactly. They submit a PCSM plan, post-construction stormwater management plan, and they can submit an erosion and sediment control plan.
Okay,
That's what's required to go to them.
okay.
The only connection between the township and that is the consistency letter.
Correct.
Yeah.
And as part of our approvals, I've required them to submit both of those plans to us. They have to submit the PCSM plan anyway.
That's well.
But I've stated to them, and in the new ordinance, I'm requiring that all applicants submit whatever they submit to someone else to submit to us.
Right.
Yes,
PennDOT and DEP both.
correct.
Right.
Okay. But that's not,
And their approval from DEP is probably 9 to 10 months out, because they have to do a certain stormwater modeling, because they have no infiltration at all down at the lower end. So they have to use what they call a managed release concept, MRC.
Yeah.
And with PennDOT, or with DEP, that process is about 9 to 12 months long.
Yeah.
So they're that far out yet.
Been there, done that. I know.
Their plan for DEP, or for, I keep getting them mixed up. Their plan for PennDOT is pretty good. It's pretty well along. They're probably 3 or 4 months out from approval for them.
So, I'll go back to the consistency issue. So, the way our township works and the way the supervisors want it to work, they want the plans to be in front of us first. That nothing like that's going to be able to happen by 11/6. I don't understand why they aren't already requesting an extension. They know
Well-
they're not going to make it.
Right.
Well-
They asked if they had to have one in for this meeting or for the next meeting, and I says, you have enough time, you can submit it for the next meeting.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's fine. All right. And then, how, have you had any consultation with them regarding the comments that you made?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I've spoken with Dave.
So they're presumably making progress.
Yes. He told me he wasn't going to be able to get it in for today's meeting.
Okay, and you said Dan, you meant Dave. I
Dave,
think,
yeah.
right?
Dave
Okay.
Habrowski.
All right, so then-
His name.
The other question I have is, why do they need an HOP?
They're making changes to the driveway entrance onto
Okay.
a state road.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's right.
Anytime that is done,
Yeah.
they're required to have
Keep
a
thinking
highway
about the
occupancy
township.
permit.
Okay.
changing the use.
Changing use.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
And they're actually closing one and moving another entrance, and they're making several changes.
Yeah,
And it's good.
yeah.
They're going to increase the sight distance and everything, so it's going to be an improvement.
I'll bring up a question, since it's such a prolonged process to get that DEP, is there any, I'll just bring it up for discussion, is there any use in us giving them longer than 90 days, giving them a
Well,
6-month
The
extension?
courts have ruled we can't turn the plan down because they're lacking a state permit.
Right,
So the only thing we can do is approve it conditionally that it meets our requirements,
mhm.
and we're waiting on their,
If they get that done in a 90-day extension.
well,
Or what I'm saying
the
is,
courts basically open that door up
yeah,
for as long as it takes the state to do it, instead of getting on the state's back about get this thing done.
Well, you've been in the consulting engineering for quite a while. You know, SOP for the past 25 years is for requesting extensions in 60 or 90-day increments.
yeah.
I don't know of any precedent or requirement for that. It's just, that's the way it's usually done.
All it does is takes, a lot of times till you grant that 90-day, you're turning around within 2 months, you're looking at it turning around again. I mean, look, and if they're not, if that's going to be running out with DEP out, what you say, 9 months or more?
But how much time does it take? They change the date on the letter, print it
Yeah,
out
yeah,
again.
I know.
We spend 30 seconds approving it here. At least it keeps us,
I just brought it up for discussion.
right, it keeps it on the agenda, it keeps us updated. We
Yeah,
give you an opportunity to ask questions whenever it comes up again.
just have to be careful you don't miss it.
Right. Well, that's why I'm keeping track of the dates now.
Right. Don't need any deemed approved.
Right.
All right. Is there any other discussion?
Yep, that's the last item.
Okay. Guess we're down to old business. And first one on old businesses report on that JVI development process, you already just did
Well,
some
that's
discussion.
basically it.
Yeah,
You've heard it already.
so do we need any action on that, or just let it set?
Just table it till,
Do we need a motion to table till next month?
we should.
I'll entertain, good. I'll entertain a motion to table the JVI land development plan.
I'll make that.
Okay, motion's been made by Ron, is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Second by Jeff. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved.
I don't know if that's required. It wasn't on the agenda for action anyway.
Yeah, well, and we don't have a
It's on the
plan. I hate
record
to table a plan, we don't.
It's on the
have a
record
plan.
that you tabled.
Yeah,
so.
but it doesn't hurt anything.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Then under old business, next item is saldo revision. We have a motion to move it to the end of the agenda.
Well, I expected more discussion on this because I expected someone to be here, but
Yeah,
being that tabling it is fine and we can put the saldo at the end, please.
okay.
Because the only other thing I have to mention is the 880 South
Southridge.
Southridge Road. And the gentleman who was in here and made a presentation on those construction rental units withdrew that, came back and said that he was going to pursue mini storage. And that went by the wayside. And now the neighbor across the road has put a bid in for the property. He has a fuel oil and propane business that he runs out of his home, and he is interested in purchasing that property. It has a carport on it, one of those metal ones that you see sitting around. And he's interested in acquiring that property, closing that carport in, so he has a place that he can service his trucks. And he wants to construct an open-sided shelter so he can park his 4 trucks under it to keep them out of the weather. And but he needs to acquire the property first, and he's put a bid in. I think you learned that we don't hold our breath when someone says they're interested in buying something around here. So when he comes in with a completed purchase and he has to do a design on what he wants to build, we'll bring that before you at that time.
This was the property that had the setback issues, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
On both sides.
yeah, yeah,
Double frontage.
yeah.
Will the possibility be there to put something up like that?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, there's no problem with that as long as he meets the setbacks.
Well, but that's the key. Does he have enough room to meet this?
Well,
Does he have to move away from the wedge back further? I mean,
he's going to be back
okay.
toward the
Just-
wide part of the
Okay.
property, and that's all he's interested in.
Okay,
He's
so that
not-
might actually work, is what
Right,
you're
he's
saying.
not gonna, according to what he told me, he's not doing anything with the point.
Okay.
Other guy wanted to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did he say
I know,
he's
I know, so it wasn't gonna work.
Propane and fuel oil,
It's one of the fuels,
yeah.
Who?
Willis. It goes for Willis.
Is that red, they have a red, is it a red truck?
I don't know, it's.
I think I've
it's,
seen him.
His dad used to own Susquehanna Oil,
Oh,
and he broke away and went on his own.
Okay,
Okay.
All right, that's all, then we're into the,
back to the saldo revision.
right.
Okay, do we need a motion to move it to the end of the meeting, like we did last month?
that's what we're doing, right? Are we?
Yeah, we're at it.
Well, we haven't
He
had public
jumped
comment.
ahead, so is this,
Yeah, we kind of mixed old business and new business
Yeah.
together. I'm
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Roxy on this. But if
So,
we're ready to go on.
Are we just gonna put it under old business and go from there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Gotcha.
That's fine.
Randy, you're up.
Have a motion to do what we're doing.
You get a copy of the
Oh,